All right. Just want to talk about the NFL for a bit because obviously we're coming up on it in like a month or two. Um, Preseason's in a month. Now I don't give a shit about preseason games. They're meaningless. The whole point of preseason games: see the rookies play, see how the rookies do. People don't understand is that the preseason really doesn't matter when it comes to the whole grand scheme of things. Like it's just to see rookies play. I mainly watch regular season and postseason. Like people don't understand. The people are like, oh, the Niners lost to the Rams when it mattered and mattered the most. It mattered the most in the postseason. But the Niners did beat the Rams when it mattered. That Week 18 game where Debo threw a touchdown and the Niners won because Matthew Stafford was an idiot and overstayed and sailed Odell Beckham. By the way, Matthew Stafford had 20 interceptions. He led the league in picks. Even though he won the Super Bowl, he did get bailed out that whole postseason, except for that Arizona game. The Arizona game, the Rams were simply the better team and outworked Arizona. The Tampa game, Tampa wins if Cooper Kupp doesn't get that wide open because Antoine Winfield does not know how to cover. Niners beat the Rams if Tart catches that interception. And well, if, you know, Joe Burrow had more time, the Bengals win because Jamar Chase torched Jalen Ramsey. Even though Jalen Ramsey in that game did get his face mask grabbed, there are also really bad calls on the Bengals in that game, and arguably worse calls too. Like the Logan Wilson holding call, like that wasn't much of holding at all. Now, by rule, it's holding, but it wasn't much. It wasn't much. The other penalties, though, yeah, they were penalties, absolutely, but still. Uh, um, oh jeez. Um, yeah, like my thing is, and well, Matthew Stafford is very lucky the Packers lost in the division round because I think the Packers would have absolutely beat the Rams. People don't realize the Packers own the Rams right as of recently, especially in Lambeau. The Rams cannot win in Lambeau Field. They have the worst possible luck in Lambeau Field. Like Matthew Stafford is one of those quarterbacks who is atrocious going in Lambeau. Absolutely atrocious. And well, Matthew Stafford doesn't know how to win a game in Lambeau against a healthy Aaron Rodgers, which he has not done it yet. Rodgers does own the Rams. And my thing with the Packers is now they got a defense. Their defense is actually good this year. Here. Last year was good under a new defensive coordinator. Now they got a better defense, and I think the Packers will be one of the best teams in the league again. And I'm picking the Packers to go to the NFC title game and lose to Tampa because, yeah, they lost the best receiver in the NFL, but they have Aaron Rodgers. They have a great defense. They have a run game. They're fine. Now, is Aaron Jones that good? Absolutely not. He has fumbleitis, and he drops, and he's not a good pass catcher. Because if you're just going to be a pure runner, don't fumble the ball. Um, yeah, and Cowboys. Trayvon, Everyone overrates Trayvon. Because here's the thing. 11 picks is impressive. Don't get me wrong, like believe me, getting 11 picks in a season is impressive. But you better know how to cover well. Cover well, if you don't like actually go, you better learn how to cover well. If not, then you're really just an all or nothing corner. That reminds me of someone. Oh yeah, that's Marcus Peters. That's literally Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters is that exact same corner, except he doesn't get torched as much as Trayvon because not a lot of people throw to Marcus Peters. They throw to whoever Jimmy is guard. They throw to whoever Jimmy or Averett was guarding, and they get torched. Now, my thing is, Cowboys will be a playoff team. I think they'll beat the Eagles in the playoffs because I think the Eagles are going to win their division and get beat by the Cowboys in the playoffs. I think the Eagles and Cowboys will split. I think Cowboys get them in the playoffs. And, well, obviously, I am predicting the now, my pick for the Super Bowl is the Bucks and the Chargers, but someone told me Chargers are going to charge it. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think the one team that's going to let everyone down is the Bills. They'll have the best record in the NFL, and I think they're going to blow it in the playoffs. Because the Bills always blow it in the playoffs. This isn't the first time they blew it. They've blown it 4 times in a row in the Super Bowl. They blew it against Jacksonville. They blew it against the Titans. The Bills are also really bad in the playoffs, and I don't think the Bills are going to win a Super Bowl with McDermott as a coach. McDermott is a good coach, don't get me wrong, but the Bills always choke. And that's my thing with the Bills. They choke. They choke, they choke, they choke, they choke, they choke. And I think it's going to happen again. I think the Bills are going to choke again, which is why I'm predicting them to lose to the Indianapolis Colts in the divisional round. Because when the Bills play a team that's really good at running the football, they get destroyed. Titan game with Derrick Henry. The Colts, Jonathan Taylor destroyed them with 5 rushing TDs. Who else destroyed them? I know Lamar owned them when he won MVP. They lost Dable, but they held on to Ken Dorsey, which is good. They have the best. On paper, they should win the Super Bowl, but they're not going to because they never get it done when it matters. They never do. They're still a great football team, but playoff time, they can't win. They just cannot win. That's my thing with Buffalo. They just can't win come playoff time. That's my one problem with the Bills. Come playoff time, they do not know how to win. They're just like the Falcons, except the Falcons blew the largest lead in Super Bowl history. Now, the Bills were the perpetrator of a comeback, but they were also the victim of a comeback at the same time. Granted, it was a 3-point game, but 13 seconds. And that game is not on the NFL overtime rules. That's on Sean McDermott for not kicking the squib kick. Now, if the Bills won the toss, wouldn't have mattered. They would have won that game, and they would have destroyed the Bengals. They would have. People are like, the Bengals would have beat the Bills. No, they would not have. They would not have gone into Buffalo in January, may I remind you, it's January at that time. And the Bengals will be going to Buffalo for an AFC title game, and it's probably going to be snowing. Joe Burrow, well, granted, he's from Ohio. He's dealt with that type of weather, but not like Buffalo or Green Bay. Green Bay and Buffalo are extremely harsh. But the 49ers did go up to Lambeau in January and got the win. However, I don't think they get it done this time. I think Green Bay will beat them in the playoffs. I think Green Bay goes to the NFC title game, loses to the Bucs. My thing is, I am not very high on the people don't realize this. Everyone has Buffalo winning it all. I don't. I think they're going to choke. They have the best roster on paper. Absolutely, they do. They have the best roster in the league. On paper, they should win the Super Bowl, but they're not going to. I think it's going to be Chargers and Bucs. I've stated why. I think the Chargers are the most improved team in the league. The Bucs got the GOAT back, and they actually got better. Everyone says they got worse. No, they got better. They added in Shaq Mason. Jordan Whitehead is gone. It doesn't matter. Jordan Whitehead is not really that good. He's only a tackler. He's just a tackler. Well, he can play some coverage. He just is not that good. Compared to Antoine Winfield, he's better in coverage. Logan Ryan is okay. Keanu Neal is a linebacker. Their linebackers are good. They added Russell Gage at receiver. They added Akeem Hicks to the pass rush. So they have Golston, Tryon, Barrett, and Eric Vay and Akeem Hicks. But the front four is going to be Vay, Hicks, Golston, and Tryon. Barrett's going to come off the edge. Barrett and Tryon will come off the edge, actually. And while the Bucs secondary may not be good, it's definitely an improvement compared to last year's secondary, which was a disaster. And I can tell you, I live in Tampa and I get a lot of Bucs games. That secondary is brutal. And they were dealing with injuries all year last year, too. And it was really bad. Now, the Ravens have the best secondary in the league when everyone's healthy. The Ravens are number one. You have You have Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, two top 10 corners. Granted, Peters is a little overrated. You have Kyle Fuller, who's solid as a free. You have Marcus Williams, a top 10 safety, and you have Kyle Hamilton, who is the best defensive back in the draft, just barely ahead of Sauce Gardner. It was close for me between Kyle Hamilton and Sauce for best DB. The only reason I took Hamilton is because I liked his range a lot better than Sauce. Granted, Sauce played against nobodies up until he played Jameson Williams, and he actually locked up Jameson Williams. I thought JMO was going to torch him. JMO didn't. And I'm going to talk about a tragedy, John Mechie. Everyone, send your thoughts and prayers to John Mechie. Send your thoughts and prayers to the Texans and John Mechie's family. Why is that? John Mechie has cancer. It just got revealed. He has cancer. He made a statement, and if you think it's a lie, he said it at it. He made the Texans posted his statement on Twitter and on Instagram. Incredibly sad. I'm praying, and I actually loved John Mechie. John Mechie was one of my favorite players at Bama last year. Just barely ahead of Jameson Williams. John Mechie, I hope you're all right. Like, please, fuck cancer. I lost someone to that disease. I literally lost someone to that disease. and it's not fun. It's not fun dealing with cancer in your family. It's not fun in general. Anyways, I'm wrapping this one up here. I'll see y'all next time.